public should also know better what the reserves are, since one big item that's cropped up for the 2014 budget was the ice storm. Mayor Henry has been on record as saying debt has this city in a stranglehold, and that now the costs of this ice storm are going to be in excess of $2 million. This is going to impact the revenues from the Oshawa Public Utilities, and there have been discussions in the paper about a potential sale of the Oshawa Public Utilities, and I really hope that part of these deliberations about the budget come around to actually addressing a potential sale of the Oshawa PUC with a recommendation that this council do nothing because we're now 9 months away from a new council. And so I would hope that this council says anything to do with the potential sale of the Oshawa Public Utilities be put over until the next council. I had more comments, but I don't want to go over my time. Thank you.
Mayor McConkey.
Thank you, Mr. People out there that would want to be at these meetings to ask why the city would consider selling the OPUC.
Yeah, I'll have to make a declaration again on the public utilities. It was mentioned by Ms. McConkey and also by Councillor Tito-Dante, Mayor McConkey.
Councillor Tito-Dante.
I'm going to ask you a couple of questions on the PUC because I understand this has become a hot item in some areas. And I'm just, first question would be, how well are you informed as with regard to negotiations going on for the sale of the PUC?
Well, it's interesting you should ask me that, Councillor Tito-Dante, because I sent in a letter to the public wondering what's being talked about their public asset and not getting any answers, and actually having something censored that comes into council and be told that you can't talk about it because it's confidential. There's something wrong. If this is a situation where you are contemplating selling the Oshawa Utilities, you should be having full disclosure.
Rosemary, my question was, where are you getting the information that we are in negotiations to sell the PUC? That's my question. Can you clarify where you're getting information from? Because I'm on the council here, and I am totally unaware of any negotiations going on with anybody at this point in time. So can you just clarify for the public?
Yes, and I thought I
clarify where you're getting this kind of information that there is negotiations going on as we speak to sell the PUC. Could you clarify that for me, please?
And I thought I answered that, but I'll repeat. And that was...
So you stated, though, that there were rumors. Is that what you're basing this negotiation on, rumors? Is this what you're bringing forward to the council? Is it you had rumors told you that we are negotiating behind closed doors to sell the PUC? Am I understanding that correctly?
No, you're not taking into account what I've said to you. The options and reporting
that's not my question. My question is, where are you getting the information that this council or any committee of
Point
this
of order,
council...
Mr. Mayor. Like, are we badgering delegations?
I'm just looking for an answer.
Ms. McConkey answered that it was in the newspaper.
Councillor Mayor McConkey.
No, that's not the question I'm answering. What was in the newspaper. I'm not asking for what we would pay, where we would spend the money if we got it. I'm asking, we're not negotiating, and I want to know where all this nonsense is coming from, that there's negotiations going on, and that is totally untrue.
Okay,
they're unfounded. And I'm asking, where are you getting your information
Councillor Tito-Dante.
with founded information?
If you want to say what I'm saying is nonsense, go right ahead. I'll continue to say what I believe has happened here. You have a possible buyer, and you have tried to figure out what you'll do with the money. So if you can't describe that as deliberations...
You stated quite plainly that rumors, and that's what you're basing all of this on, was rumors? I can't believe that. I'm sorry, I can't believe that.
You cannot believe what I'm saying?
That you are basing it on rumors, because you stated that several times.
No, the rumor is the actual amount. the article that was censored said something like 100 million, but then I heard a rumor that it was more, that you've been
A
offered.
rumor, and there you've mentioned it again. It's a
That, when I say more than 100 million, I believe the article that was censored, you know, if you want, I'll email it to you directly, because when I sent it through the clerk's office, it was redacted. But that article that was online had, I believe, the amount of $100 million.
So strictly
So-
rumor, strictly on...
No, it was in print online.
Well, I'm sorry, I haven't heard anything about that. I heard that there may be an offer coming for a
So-
long time ago, but since it hit the press, the buyer, presumed buyer at that time, has walked away and wants
Okay.
nothing to do with it.
So, Councillor Pittsburgh,
So was up for sale? Was it up for sale or not?
Councillor,
There was a buyer, now there's no buyer.
September 3rd,
Councillor Mayor Pietri. Councillor Peterbecki, you're finished with your questions? Councillor Neal, we've noted your declaration. Councillor Wood, please.
Thank you. I want to be clear that my participation in this process, that there was a recorded vote that was in closed council. And my understanding from the discussions on that vote, that whereas we're not allowed to talk about the conditions as such, I can tell you,
Councillor, my question, please.
are you aware that my vote was no and Councilor Mayor Pietri and Neil were not present? With regards to the sale of the OPUC and those who would have voted for that, or who would vote for that, I should say,
Councillor,
that I'm wondering whether or not
Councillor
you're
Wood.
aware.
Councillor Wood.
I'm forming the question. You want a question from me, do you not? Thank you very much.
No, that's not what you're doing.
Well, I think I'm putting up with somebody interrupting when they didn't have to, because my question clearly, back to the delegation, is are you aware then of the benefits of having an OPUC, and you illustrated that.
Councillor Wood,
Is that not correct?
it's not a public matter.
Can we have clarification by the city clerk who maybe is whispering in your ear there? Maybe we get some clarification on that.
Actually, Councillor Wood, I chair the meeting.
And I'm making a request through you, Mr. Chair,
No.
to the city clerk,
No.
if indeed she would clarify this point for us. Thank you.
Councillor Wood, the vote was taken for a meeting in open session, as all votes are taken.
No, I'm not at all. I'm referring to the closed session, the vote that was taking place. It was a recorded vote.
Votes are not done in closed session,
Well, there was that day.
unless it was direction to... Yes.
Because it is a matter of a recorded vote at that meeting.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor, like, instead of having all this, when are we gonna have a public meeting so that the people of Oshawa know what happened in that meeting?
Councillor Mayor Pietri, you do not have the floor.
Well, I think that's a fair question, that we put that out through you to make that call, that we have a public meeting on what, in fact, the implications
Councillor
are
Wood.
of being an owner of a PUC meeting.
Questions are... to the delegation. Have you finished your questions?
No, thank you. So we're back to that. So the implications then of losing control of an OPUC, what does that mean to you, Mrs.
Councillor Wood.
Wait a minute.
I've stopped you a couple times.
And you continue to interrupt.
It's not the questions to the delegation. Please keep it to the topic.
So again, I would, is this coming through to you, Ms.?
well, it seems like a control of the message that this council is not able to talk about the PUC
Yet again.
publicly at this point in time. A public asset that may or may not be for sale, according to Councillor Pidrebecki.
What you're saying that Councillor Pidrebecki was
Yeah,
saying.
I'm clear that you voted against a sale, and
No. There's no sale.
Okay, well, we'll try to get the right words, because I know for several months that we couldn't say the word Auditor General, and now we can, fired Auditor General, so now we can't say sale, you
No,
know.
it's an incorrect statement.
Okay.
So it'd be closer to say, Your Worship, contract negotiations. That was what you were quoted in the press.
It's a closed item, Councillor Wood.
Well, the point that I'm drawing to, Ms. McConkey, is what you said earlier, that you have, correct me if I'm wrong, that you have concerns of what it means for the city of Oshawa taxpayers, Oshawa ratepayers of the PUC, if we lose control of the PUC and the implications of that.
Councillor Wood.
I
Is
think
that
there should
fair?
be public discussion. I mean, to talk about it like it's not in the context of.
Just for one second, Ms. McConkey. Councillor Wood, the topic of the sale of the PUC is not the topic of this conversation.
Wait a minute, that was part of the delegation.
No, it's not.
Well, that's what I heard, unless you heard something different. I think I heard,
No.
I think I've heard you want to control the message, perhaps. Maybe you don't want to be talking about the delegation's
Councillor
presentation
Wood,
this evening.
please stay to the topic.
And what is, in your view, the topic?
Well, it's the reason why Ms. McConkey is here to speak.
Mr. Mayor,
So, it's about the budget process. Councillor Wood, you have
The microphone is back on, thank you. The questions
Councillor Wood.
don't go away because you're not allowing them to be
Councillor,
asked.
I'm not going to cross debate with you. I'm giving you the opportunity to ask questions if you're.
No, you are not. You're
Councillor Wood,
You're
I'm
interrupting.
about to move to the next speaker. So if you have a question related to the comments of Ms. McConkey, please continue.
Thank you very much. Again, Ms. McConkey, with regards to your comments on the PUC, I ask again,
Councillor Wood, that is not what Ms. McConkey came to speak about.
Ms. McConkey, let me ask you again, can you repeat your comments regarding the PUC?
I have made comments both in my delegation tonight and in my letter that went to committee January 8th, referring to the PUC. So I don't know why this these comments are being limited this way. And all I wanted to say is, I mean, the context is the province is looking at amalgamations, and the city of London just went through this very publicly. Very good discussions, and voted against the sale. And I don't know why everything in the city of Oshawa has to be under this veil of confidentiality, privacy.
Would you say, Ms. McConkey, that you are concerned about the effects on the taxpayers of the sale of the PUC?
Sorry.
I'd like more
Sorry.
information, and I guess it's not forthcoming.
Of any discussion of the sale?
No, Councillor, I've asked you to stay to the topic. Are you going to stay to the topic, or are you
I
finished?
thought I just answered that.
Councillor Wood, I'm about to move to the next speaker. Next speaker, Councillor Dunn.
Yeah, I'll make a declaration on Councillor Wood's comments.